Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining in on my channel and my first video tutorial for DragonFlame. My name is Obly. I'm the little retard here on the little green thingy. So, what we're going to discuss today, because I've been getting a lot of questions regarding guild points. People have a lot of questions on how do you claim guild points? What are they used for? How do they work? So, I'm going to explain that a little bit today. So, first of all, what are guild points used for? Well, it's actually fairly simple. Guild points are used to level the guild, and once the guild levels, we get a technology point. There we go. Sorry. So with this technology point, what we can do is we can activate beneficial buffs for the guild, and both passive and self-activated buffs. And I'll get to that in a second. Um, Now, I'm on my way to one of the dungeons because this is one of the ways. But let me explain first. So the guild points are basically your regular points. In your guild tab, what you can see is your guild points. And let me show that to you straight away once I get here. Um, the guild points are very easy. Okay, get off of that thing. Alright, so what we're going to do is, after I bug out, let me get rid of all this. Oh, that's a nice bug. So, alright, now that that's all done, what we're going to do is let me explain to you. Alright, so this is your guild tab. When you join a guild, you will have an extra achievement tab, which I will show you in a moment. But let me explain. The guild level is currently 15 for us, for DragonFlame. The guild reputation is 22,814 out of 23,310. Now these are the accumulated guild points, the first number. That's the total amount of guild points achieved so far by our members. So that's how guild points work for the guild. You can review the amount of points you have by looking in the points tab next to your name. So you can see I have 7,151. One of the other active members at the moment has 1,035 and 345, and so we go down. So that's what guild points are. That's how you can see them. Now, in this tab, the Guild Technologies tab, you can see here the total accumulated one. It's always one less than the maximum level of the guild. Alright, so the guild level now is maximum at 100, so 99 points would be a total. And these can be used to activate the buffs that are here. Now, some of them are really useful, some of them are less useful. For instance, this one, it says to collect gold. It's for around 2,300 gold, I think, per 5 hours. So that's an absolute waste of your technology points. So if you're a guild leader watching this video, please don't invest in that. Same goes for Napolite extraction. It's the most horrible thing ever. Um, so one of the things that people always want is the dragon flutes, the dragonic sanctuaries. So definitely something you want to get. And then there's these two buffs. Now, there used to be this one as well, Alluring Aura, which gives you extra charisma. Charisma used to help a lot in catching dragons, making it easier to catch dragons. However, they changed it, and charisma now only helps to the stats of the dragon and the summoning time. So that's absolutely useless. So let me explain. Once we have these guild points, what we can do is we can activate them. Now, some of them, like this, is a passive that now, when you put your dragon to work, which I will explain in a different tutorial how the dragon lair works and what you can do with your dragons there, you can collect flutes, which people love because using these flutes you can summon ancient dragons and rares, chance ancients, and which makes it easier to catch them. So, all that said, these are the main things here. No, sorry. So, in this guild tab, what you see is that this buff will grant you an increased drop rate. But it doesn't activate out of itself. You have to activate it yourself as a guild member. It's per member, so don't worry. Uh, when you go to the blue button, that is what activates it. Active guild buff. Requires 30 points. Now, it means 30 guild points. But what it doesn't mean is that it actually deducts 30 guild points off your total. It is just a threshold. Once you obtain 30 guild points, forever from that point onwards in that guild, you're able to activate the buff. And this one, the Draconic Sanctuary, to get into it, you need 100 points. Why it doesn't state that beats the hell out of me, but that's the way it is. It's 100 guild points. So where do I see where I get my guild points? Well, good question. That's a question I get a lot. So let's go into an achievement tab. Once you've joined a guild, you will see that under time limit and above dragons, which is a new thing, you will see guild. Now, when you go into the guild tabs, you will see a variety, a list of all the maps that are currently active, except for Inertia, which will be activated tomorrow, hopefully, and also increase the level cap to 80. But that's beside the point. Now, they changed the starting area that it will always be Puretia. So let's click on Puretia first. If you're a starting player, this is the first one that you will be able to get. Now, you can see on the right, in the middle, before we get to the right side, in the middle, you can see 3 times that it says kill something, and 5 times it says wanted. Now let me explain the difference between the two. The kill ones are always the dungeons in the map. Now in the bigger maps like Wanidia, you will find 4. 1 is a legendary dungeon, and 3 are the smaller dungeons, which you will always have in the starting area, just smaller dungeons. So on the left side you can see the amount of points they yield, and on the right side you see the amount of points you need as a threshold in order to be able to claim, with this button, claim all, the points or coin or guild buff. This is your points. The blue flags are your actual guild points. So the bottom one, it should be here, but they decided to put it at the bottom, is always the total of these two combined. So it's double up. These two plus this one is the grand total, and it's a daily, so they reset every day around 1 p.m. GMT. Now, that means that in the starting area, you'll be able to get 10 guild points per day if you do all the dungeons and all events. And that is the difference. These are the dungeons. The kill ones are dungeons. The wanted ones are the bosses that spawn at the end of a public event. So for instance, taking Subject 18, you can see find and kill Subject 18 in Cyborg Tower. Now there's a little public event near Cyborg Tower called the Cry of the Dragon, something like that. After you finish the event, Subject 18 spawns, and when you hit the boss, you just need to hit it once for it to count. You will get this changed into this. Wanted turns into a yellow text, and this becomes yellow as well, with a green check mark next to it. That means that you've achieved that point. So one dungeon and one event yields 40 points, and that will unlock the first flag, which is 2 guild points. Once you have that, all you have to do is go to this tab, which will be indicated by a exclamation mark, and you click on Claim All button. It's that simple. Now, for the purpose of this tutorial, I will also show you one. Now, I've already done one event and one dungeon, just for the speed, so we have 40 points. Now, that means that for 60, we need 20 more points. Now, a dungeon yields 30. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run Nameless Keep real fast. I'm going to run through this dungeon. I'll also show you, actually, if you just follow my steps, how to speedrun this thing. And how to reset the dungeon, basically. Or the mobs in the dungeon. So we're going to go in here. I'm going to take the normal mode, not the hard mode, which I usually do. But this is for the ease of the tutorial, to make it even easier. So let me go even faster by teleporting or transforming. And I just run through this whole thing real fast. So just bear with me. We're almost there already. These dragons, by the way, are a pain in the ass to kill. So when you're here at the same level as those things, do make sure you don't pull too many at the same time. Now, once you jump on top of this, and don't get stuck in the wall, you will be able to get up in here. Now I have one dragon that I accidentally pulled. That's the boss. So let me kill this thing real fast. Oops, straggler. Alright, so now that we have all that done, I'm going to buff up and kill the boss. Which is, by the way, a very annoying boss with his little poison clouds. Alright, so at the bottom you now see completed Wanidia objectives. It will always show you when you have an objective done, um, once that lights up. So we don't have to go out of the dungeon. You can already claim it here. So I'm going to show for the purpose here. So we open our achievement tab we saw earlier. Now they changed it that you don't have to click through everything. It will automatically take you to the latest or first in list achievement available to claim. Now we just completed Nameless Keep and you see it turned into yellow with a check mark. So we gained a grand total of 30 extra points, which makes our 40 into 70. Easy math. So there's nothing at 70, but there is one at 60, and that is 12 guild points. Like I said, the blue flags are guild points. And now we're going to claim them. So let me show you what changes. Yes. Oh, also nice. So I have 7,151 points, and now I will claim these. This will now change to 7,163. Yay. Okay, boring. Anyway, so that is how you claim guild points. Like I said, they're a daily, and you can just keep repeating them. So that is how you claim guild points. I hope that this tutorial was clear. If you have any questions whatsoever regarding claiming guild points, or if you have any suggestions on tutorials you'd like to see, or just have a question, don't be afraid to just whisper me in game, or send me an in-game mail to Obly. It's the only character I play, so don't worry about that. And you can simply, I'll be more than happy to help you out. Now, I have my way of running the game. Some people find different systems easier. Some, you have to find your own flow, but I can definitely guide you in the right way. So if you have any ideas about tutorials you'd like to see, for instance, PvP, for instance, PvE, a Guardian build, different Guardian builds, Ranger build, Oracle build, I don't care. Name it, and I'll help you out. I'll give you my advice. I'll give you what I know of the game so far, and I'll guide you through that. So with all that said, I'll be signing out right now, and hopefully see you in the next tutorial. Cheerio!